What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Woo, what an exciting time to be alive in crypto, to have some great information and news to go over, a bunch of exciting things happening in just the world of DeFi and crypto. Got some Quant news, got some Hbar news. There's a lot of things happening, and I'm going to tie some pieces all together. We see here just what's going on with the market. Convex is up. Now, I've been getting more into DeFi and learning all the different platforms and yield aggregators. Convex is definitely a big player in this space. You see them. Curve up. We see Quant. We love Quant here. It's going good. Hbar, so definitely better than it's been even just a few weeks ago, man, when things went really down. But let's get into it. We see here, I wanted to share this. Now, this just happened yesterday. There was a huge hack. And so we were talking about this on a recent video. I think I shared an article about even Vitalik Buterin saying that these cross-chain links are not going to work because of exactly this. And this was, oh goodness, maybe 2 weeks ago I did a video and I mentioned that. And this you see right here, this happens, $320 million stolen. And so basically, I won't get into the technical of it, but goodness, 120,000 of wrapped ether. Basically, the cross bridge, the hackers attacked those links. And so it was obviously a weakness on Solana's side. Solana, I just don't see how Solana can, I know it's been getting a lot of press about, being the Visa of crypto. In the end, I just don't see how you could have a platform like Solana just survive it with so many issues just happening, crashes, hacks. But essentially, they attacked that cross bridge. Now, keep in mind, Wormhole, they actually have cross bridges to a lot of other networks, Avalanche, Terra. So this is, definitely a concern. And this is why something like Quant, where you approach that interoperability from a multi-chain standpoint, this is clearly going to be what happens in the future. That's going to be ultimately what wins. Now, when it comes to hacks like this, hopefully things like this get more secure in the future. That's what it's going to take for mainstream to really start adopting this. But, anyway, moving on. You can actually see, speaking of the DeFi here, the race to dominate the DeFi ecosystem is on. This article is actually pretty interesting in The Economist, saying Ethereum's losing its market share. I believe Ethereum will always be around in some way, shape, or form, especially when we're just trillions and trillions of dollars. Ethereum is they're gonna get their act together at some point. Whenever 2.0 comes out, even if they lose market share to others, the space overall is going to grow, and they're going to continue to grow. That's just my 2 cents on it. But, this just shows that other platforms are definitely going to be coming. Now, I wanted to move into some Quant news. This is actually really interesting. Now, they just released another update to Overledger, which is actually really cool. Now, they just had recently updated their Overledger 2.1.6. It was like January 19th, I want to say. It was a few weeks ago. And so it's, today, where they released it on February 3rd, that's pretty quick. That shows you that they are actively engaged in getting their QRC20 smart contracts and payment capabilities. Really trying to get that CBDC plans moving forward. With Overledger 2.17, customers can easily create smart contracts for payments using tokenized money within our API. Overledger natively supports 12 programming languages. We talked about that, how they can program in 12 different SDKs, the software development kits, and so that no additional programming or blockchain language is required. Furthermore, QRC20 smart contracts can be deployed straight to the Ethereum testnet. So that's cool. They've been able to do that, but it's just an overall important milestone. The QRC20 smart contracts can act as programmable money across an interoperable blockchain payment system. There you go. It's pretty clear as day what they're going after there. This is the first phase in developing new digital payments instruments that move money more efficiently. So that's good. You see here, it allows, customer deployed actual more functionality. Created actual smart contract, make a credit transfer to initiate a QRC token payment, initiate a debit transfer to pull a payment of the QRC20 token, right? So they can, and then pre-approve a debit transfer, pull a payment. I mean, this is just like, this is clearly the new monetary system right here. Wow, so that's interesting. That shows that we're getting development now there. Now, also to the Bank of England, they had announced here, this is from January 27th, central bank digital currency holds the promise of cheaper cross-border payments. We know Quant's highly tied in with the Digital Pound Foundation and really pushing that CBDC. Now, Martin Hargreaves, he is instrumental in Quant helping pioneer ODAP, the Open Digital Asset Protocol, which is like the new protocol of the Internet of Value. But right here, central bank digital currency, the focus, obviously, of the debate of many nations, the UK's House of Lords. Now, it's important to pay attention to the UK as well, because a lot of people don't know this, and we talked about this with XDC and other videos, but a lot of global trade laws, a lot of laws for these global capital markets are still built on British law. Even up until now, when they're changing over from LIBOR to SOFR, which is just like the interbank exchange rate, all of this is based on British laws. So what happens in Britain is still important, because that governs and that kind of predicts what's going to happen in all of Europe, and then obviously that's really tied into a lot of other central banks. So we want to pay attention to that, right? And you see, the UK, they already have a largely cashless economy, but they were just concerns that there's going to be some type of privacy issues with CBDC. So basically, Quant's making the overall argument that they actually have a solution where it doesn't have to automatically be where you're automatically giving up your privacy. It's incorrect to assume that loss of privacy is a prerequisite for a CBDC. Current distributed ledger technology makes it perfectly possible to collect all the information required by money laundering and know your customer regulations without compromising anonymity. So they're already doing it with the LAC chain. So they're going to be able to utilize Quant technology to ensure transactions are anonymized and behave essentially like cash. So perfect. They're making a great argument for that. Now, financial infrastructure for future resilience. It's vital to keep evolving our financial infrastructure so it doesn't become obsolete. Quant is committed to blockchain standardization, helping establish a TC307 blockchain standard. We've talked about that. The UK should consider that whilst our domestic payment functions well enough, we could be eclipsed by other countries adopting CBDC, which would stifle GDP growth. So Quant is like saying, hey, we got to get on board. Let's get this digital pound going on, yada, yada, yada. Let's basically keep rocking and rolling here. Now, also, this was from a few weeks ago. I wanted to mention CBD. This is directly related to CBDC. It's a little old, January 13th, but CBDC's fail to woo House of Lords committee says it poses stability risk. So we just talked about how Quant and the Digital Pound Foundation trying to get this moving forward. And this article actually talks about the Digital Pound Foundation. In spite of hearing from the Bank of England and Treasury officials, the UK's Lords Economic Affairs Committee is reportedly non-convinced about the launch of a Bitcoin or CBDC. Speaking of far-reaching consequences and significant risks, the risks include state surveillance of people's spending choices, financial instability as people convert bank deposits to CBDC during periods of economic stress, an increase in central bank power without sufficient scrutiny, and the creation of a centralized point of failure. So they're not liking it at all. The fact that the UK's own House of Lords committee is worried is saying something. So they're trying to figure it all out, what they're doing. You see here, it mentions how it's also worth noting that the House of Lords Committee focused on central bank actors, while the Digital Pound Foundation is referring to commercial banks. So they basically made a statement here. The Digital Pound Foundation has been active in garnering the support for a CBDC, stressing on the need for digital currency. Even as recently as January 12th, the forum admitted that CBDCs did bring risks, but change was coming. This is Digital Pound Foundation saying, should new forms of digital money be widely adopted by the general public, it's likely that consumer holdings may migrate away from commercial bank deposits. So they're saying, hey, no more private banks. It's just going to be a central bank only system. So I think a lot of these big politicians, though, that first they fight something, you know that saying, first you criticize it, then you accept it kind of thing. They're going to fight it just to delay and stall, but in the end, we know it's inevitable. This is being reached. Something like Quant is only going to survive. Quant, right, too, you see here, they wanted to show this, right? Percentage of Quant on exchange is still 1.4%. It's been about that number for a while now. The wallets, though, the wallet sizes continue to increase. That continues to go up. I think I checked it maybe a few weeks ago. It was 44, maybe 45,000. Yeah, right in here. And it just keeps going up. So we're up to 46,000 wallets, 46,871 wallets holding Quant still. So Quant is going to continue to be one of my top holds. Now, we had some great news on Google and Hbar news on it. Not really much has been happening with Hbar, but definitely behind the scenes. We have not seen as much public announcement. I know people are like, they need to do more marketing, but here we are. Now, you might have seen this. Alphabet CEO says their company is definitely looking at blockchain. And we know Alphabet, the parent company of Google's on the governing council of Hbar. So what kind of blockchain do you think, if they're looking at using it? You see, they're looking at how to build blockchain technologies into its blockbuster services. So they're trying to go after and shape their own Web3, right? They're trying to compete. They're trying to compete because Amazon Web Services, you see, they're a huge competitor to that. So Alphabet's just trying to build out their own cloud services. What do you think they're going to be using? What do you think they're going to be using? They're going to be using Hbar, likely. I'm connecting those. I know Crypto Twitter's talking about that as well. I think that's clearly the dots that need to be connected there, because that's where things are going. They obviously are not, they're not going to provide further specifics, but, I mean, again, Google governing council member doesn't take much to put those together. I don't know. You tell me in the comments below. What do you think? You think Google and Alphabet are using Hbar and they're using Hbar? Google Cloud reveals DeFi ambitions with it. And so this article is saying, well, they're trying to go after and build behind DeFi. Now, we know in DeFi, citing blockchain to distributed ledger-based technologies such as Hbar, Data Labs, and Dapper, already built on Google Cloud. Yeah, DeFi is going to be huge. I can't wait for DeFi to come to Hbar. I think it'll be amazing. I think a lot will change, and they're doing so much in this space already. So much is happening behind the scenes. You can just be checking in on them once a week or so and to see what's going on. They just joined also partnering up with Ubisoft. This was literally just yesterday. They're partnering up with Ubisoft. I played their video games. I think they just had tons of video games growing up as a kid, so it's really interesting to see this going up with the Hbar council joining the actual governing council. So I think there is clear direction in what they're trying to do, and obviously this is going to give Hbar a huge play into the video game space. You see here Ubisoft setting up a Hbar dedicated track into the Ubisoft Entrepreneurs Lab, so they're going to really be able to get people to use Hbar, build video games on it. Think about it like the video games of the next 5 or 10 years, of kids growing up now, the kids that'll be playing the video games, it's going to be built on Hbar. Ubisoft is a huge player. So, that's very, very bullish news, in my opinion. You tell me, are you bullish on this news? Are you bullish on it? We got here also, and there's just a lot's happening. They've upgraded their smart contracts, and they're launching EVM compatible smart contracts 2.0. So basically, they merged their mainnet launch of the Hbar smart contracts 2.0, and they integrated it with the Hbar smart contract service. So this is going to allow them to do more deeper things. It's going to let them do more intricate things using the Hbar smart contract and the token service. It's going to make it be EVM compatible. You see here the Hbar smart contract service is EVM, Ethereum virtual machine compatible, runs Solidity. That's built on 30% of all Web3. So right there, Hbar smart contract equips Solidity and EVM compatible smart contracts with the versatility of Hbar. I don't know how much more excitement you could see or ask for clearly happening. So it'll be definitely worth following. They're doing a lot of stuff. And I'll just wrap up and say this. Shout out to Crypto Observer here. Basically, summing up the red. I mean, they're already open source, decentralized. They just abolished their CEO roles, moving from beta to final code. Staking. We're going to have staking soon, which means we'll be able to make our Hbar make money for us. They're going to be in the metaverse. They already got the new Ubisoft member. I mean, this is going to make a lot of people very happy in 2022 and in 2023, I feel like. So keep hanging in there, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Got more coming for you. Leave a like for this video if you found this information informative. I definitely am going to continue to keep making these for you guys. Appreciate every single one of you coming by. Would love to hear from you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.